California wants to give you up to $150,000 towards your down payment on a home. Okay, not give you. Let me take that back. They want to loan you up to $150,000 or 20% of the total purchase price to go towards your down payment and your closing costs. Of course, there's a catch, but that's okay. This one is probably worth the catch. I am talking about the CalHFA Dream for All program. I'm going to explain to you how the loan program works, what you need to do to qualify, and what your next steps are going to be to get you there. So let's start with, what is the Dream for All program? Well, this is shared appreciation down payment assistance that comes from the state of California. It will provide up to 20% of the purchase price towards your down payment and your closing costs. And it is offered only through CalHFA approved lenders. So you got to make sure you're talking to the right lender. And you can only use it for your primary residence. So that means no investment properties, no second homes. So you're probably wondering, what does shared appreciation mean? And I get it, this can get a little bit confusing. So I'm going to break this all down for you. The state of California is going to lend you up to 20% of the purchase price. Now, this is a loan. It is not a gift. It is not a grant. You are going to be paying this money back. So what does shared appreciation mean? Well, it means that when you sell this home at some point in the future, you will first repay the loan, the amount of the original loan, and then second, repay a portion of your appreciation that you've made, that you've gained, the money that you've earned during the life of the loan. So let's just break this down with a very simple example. Okay, so let's say that you purchase a home for $500,000 and California says, here's $100,000. That's 20% of the purchase price. You can take this $100,000. We're going to lend it to you, and it's going to go towards your down payment. You have $400,000 loan plus the $100,000 down payment assistance loan, and you buy this $500,000 property. 10 years later, you decide it's time to sell this property. So you put it on the market and you sell it for $600,000. When you close escrow on that home, you will repay the original $100,000. Plus, since you've owned this home, you've made an additional $100,000 above what the purchase price was, right? 20% of that is going to go back to the state of California because they were basically investors in this property with you. They bought this home together with you, and when they bought it, they gave you money to go towards it, and when you sell it, they want their money back plus the appreciation that they've earned. Your $100,000 loan cost you $120,000. Not bad. So who qualifies for this program? Well, you have to be a first-time homebuyer, but first-time homebuyer does not mean that you've never owned a home. It means that you have not owned or lived in your own home for the past 3 years, and that your spouse or your partner or your co-borrower has also not owned or lived in their own home in the past 3 years. You must be a first-generation homebuyer, which means that your parents don't own a home or haven't owned a home in the last 7 years. Or if your parents have passed away, that they did not own a home when they died. There are income limits that are based on your county. In San Diego County, your combined income cannot be more than $207,000. You need to complete your homebuyer education program that is offered through CalHFA, and also an education program that is for this loan specifically to make sure that you understand the requirements of the loan and what the payback looks like. You need to use an approved lender, a CalHFA approved lender for this program. Otherwise, it's not going to work, and you have to get pre-approved by them. And you need to, part of the pre-approval is meet the credit and income and debt to income guidelines that go along with this loan. Now, there's a few things that you really need to be aware of. First of all, the funds for this program are limited, and not everyone who applies for it is going to get the money. It is going to be distributed basically on a lottery basis. So everybody who's interested has until the deadline to go ahead and put in their applications and get pre-approved and get all of the work ahead of time done. And then they're going to kind of pull names out of a hat, and whoever gets picked those are the people that are going to get the funds. So it's really important that you get your application in with the right lender and provide all of the ID requirements, everything that you're going to need up front in order to get into the lottery and get picked. Now, there's definitely some pros and cons here, and in my opinion, the pros really outweigh the cons, but Here's the deal. The pros, it's going to get you into into the housing market when you probably wouldn't otherwise qualify, because most of the people who are using this program don't have the funds for a down payment. Let's face it, if you had the money, you'd do it anyway, right? It's going to help you build equity sooner because you're buying a property when you otherwise wouldn't be able to. So you're going to get to build that equity and get yourself in a home where you're paying your own mortgage and not someone else's a lot sooner than you would otherwise be able to. But what are the cons? Well, it's a shared appreciation program, so you don't get to keep 100% of the appreciation that you're gaining. But you wouldn't be getting any appreciation at all without the program, so don't forget that. There are program restrictions and there's limited availability. So you got to keep that in mind. So who is this really good for? Well, in my mind, this is a really great program for first-time home buyers who just don't have the funds to put a down payment down on a house. It's for somebody who has a stable and steady income that is renting right now in San Diego, but has not yet been able to get together the down payment to purchase, but really wants to. And for somebody who's going to stick around for a while, because let's face it, you don't want to get into this program and then have to sell next year, because there are costs of buying and selling a property. So this is not going to be a quick turnaround kind of program. You want to be able to buy a property and stick in it for at least a little bit of time until you can see it makes some money. So who should think twice about this? Well, like I just said, this is not a program if you are going to buy the property and then sell it next year. This is not a quick turnaround. This is something that you want to sit on for as long as you can, or for at least a while until you build up enough that you can buy yourself out of it and go get into your next home. If you already have down payment money, this one's not for you. Why would you use their down payment money and then have to pay them some of your equity, some of your appreciation in the end? If you've got the funds to get into a home on your own, do it that way. You'll get to keep all of the appreciation. And it is definitely not for investors or second home buyers. You won't even qualify that way. So save yourself the time and effort. Let's say you are in Oceanside and you want to buy your first home. The average single family home price in Oceanside is just under $900,000. So you're not going to get the full 20% there, but you're probably also not going to be comfortably qualified for that purchase price at your $200,000 income limit anyway. So let's bump it down a little bit. Let's be really realistic, okay? Let's say $750,000. There's some great Rancho Del Oro condos for $750,000. Newer homes, 2 bedrooms, a big island kitchen, open floor plan. There are some great places out there that you might be able to work with. $750,000. The state of California is going to give you that $150,000 that you need for your 20% down. So you're looking at a loan of $600,000. You get into this property and you live there for 5 years. And during that 5 years, your home goes up to $850,000, $900,000. And you're thinking, yes. Now, you are in a home that you just got. Let's say you made $100,000 on it in 5 years. You're going to pay $20,000 to the state of California, and you get to walk away with the other $80,000 that is now your cash in your pocket that you get to use to put down towards your next home. Maybe it's a little bit bigger. Maybe it's a little bit nicer. Who knows what you can do with this? So this sounds like a program that is right for you. If you want more information about it and want to learn how it can work for you, all you got to do is give me a call or send me a message or comment below. Whatever it takes, get to me and let me know what I can do to help you get into your first home or your next home or whatever home it is that you're looking for. I cannot wait to talk to you. And with this program, you will for sure be able to buy smart and someday sell strong and always love where you live.